Welcome to the Week 16 Spreads of the Week, the show where me, Tom, and usually Mike run you through every spread of the NFL week and give our opinion on where the line will fall. Now, Mike isn't here, sadly. Today he's out travelling. The winter storm has hit in here in the United States, so I'm just bunkering in. And I'll just run through the spreads briefly, and Mike's given me his picks as well, so I'll just consult Mike's picks via text as well. Now we both picked Jacksonville to cover that Thursday night game. That was pretty self-explanatory there. The Jets are a team in downfall. Jacksonville on the ascension. To make Zach Wilson, we both said a 2.5 point favorite. It's just criminal, really. Bookies having to take a bath on that. And now we'll get on to today's Sunday games, which is an interesting slate. A lot of close spreads, so this could go either way. We're still hovering about our 50% mark for the season. I got 1 point up on Mike last week. I'll have to put that in, of course. But if we kick it off here, Atlanta at Baltimore. 6.5 point favourites of the Ravens, and me and Mike both going to take Atlanta here to cover that. Usually you like anyone to cover against Baltimore, and Baltimore to win, but usually only by one score. Even if Lamar Jackson's back, you just got to look at the data. At this stage, you really can't pick Baltimore as a favourite. On a as a favorite, as a 6.5 point favorite, that's too much. Buffalo at Chicago, -8 is the spread here. And the Bears coming off a tight loss, actually, I should say, last week to the Eagles. They were about 8 point underdogs there as well. And yeah, well, me and Mike are going to agree again on this one. We're both going to go with the Bears. It's been a long time since we've seen the Bills cover as favourites and win by a lot of points. I can't think of a game in the last 4 or 5 weeks where that's happened, probably since Thanksgiving. So, again, just looking at the stats, this is a pretty comfy cover here. I think that'll be close as well. The weather's going to factor into some of these games, of course. Now, Cincinnati going to New England, only -3 points for Cincinnati. Yeah, it's tough. That is a tough one. Road favourites. I know Mike's going to take the Bengals, the Bungles, as he texted me. Yeah, I've got to start picking them as well now. So I'm afraid there's going to be four agreements here from me and Mike. Yeah, I've picked against the Bengals a few times. I just can't see them messing this one up here against the Patriots. That's a no-brainer here. This is a weird spread as well here. The Lions going to Carolina. This kind of reminds me of this Jacksonville spread we saw on Thursday night. You have a clear team who's probably a top 5 form team of the NFL here, and they're only less than a field goal favourite, even on the road. Now, there may be incremental weather in Carolina, but you've still got to be taking the Detroit Lions, and we'll both agree on that as well here. That's got to be done. Houston at Tennessee. A 3 point spread. Again, some of these seem a little too close, actually. We're both going to agree here that the Titans cover this one here, -3. The Texans have put up some valiant games recently. Covered a big spread last week, and almost did Dallas the week before, which is great. But they're only being given 3 points here. That's madness. You can't take the Texans. It's a Titans cover around for us there. So now we'll move on here to the Cleveland game in my hometown here. And we've got the Saints coming into town in incremental weather, it has to be said, in Cleveland here. And the Saints are 3 point underdogs. Mike's going to go with the Saints. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. There's a lot to play for that. They could still win a division at this stage. I just think, I don't know. They're not up for it. They're not up for this weather here. It's -17 degrees Celsius. God knows what that is in Fahrenheit. Saints aren't getting up for that. Cleveland cover there for me, -3. Oh, another interesting one here. Goodness, we've got the Giants going to Minnesota. 4 points spread here. The Vikings are favourites, as you would expect. And yeah, we said every week the Vikings, I think they've covered now 2 spreads this year as favourites. They've only covered twice. They haven't covered 6 or 7 times when they've been favourites. And it's too many points. I think if they do, it's a field goal game. So I think we're both going to settle with the Giants on this one. Vikings are an interesting team to maybe bet on in game if you feel like they've gone down. They usually have the comeback in them, as we saw last week. But I think the Giants, I'll trust them to cover that one. Although I think it's a field goal win here for Minnesota. Interesting spread here in Kansas City with Seattle going in as 10-point underdogs. Goodness. It's, again, the Chiefs. They just don't seem to cover these mammoth spreads that they're given. It's really struggled last week against Houston. And the week before, it was Denver. They were 9.5-point favorites, didn't cover. Houston, they were 17 or 14-point favorites, didn't cover. Seattle, this could be tough. It could be tough. You do wonder if maybe the steam's run out for Seattle here a bit. So Mike's going with Seattle, which I think is probably the smart pick. However, I'm going to say in a shootout, I think the Chiefs get this done by more than 10. I'm going out on a limb here because I'm going against my previous picks on the Chiefs here, these big spreads. But I like to differ with Mike, and I do think in a relatively quiet, not prime time game, I think the Chiefs could quietly roll the Seahawks here in a shootout in Arrowhead, maybe like a 40-28 ball game. So then we've got the Commanders going to San Francisco. Commanders 6.5-point underdogs. Mike likes them to cover the 6.5. I'm going to roll with the Niners here. I like the fact that it's under a touchdown, so the touchdown win is on here for the Niners. The Commanders just playing a night game the other night and having to shoot on the 3-hour flight over to the West Coast. I don't like that, so I'll take the Niners to continue their big streak here. Now an interesting one, which should be a primetime game, even though Hurts is out. It's Philadelphia at Dallas. 4.5 points here, given to the Eagles with their backup quarterback. Me and Mike both like him to cover. Just a fundamentally good football team. We've said it all year. Making one change kind of throws these lines out a bit. And I know this line was actually a little more as we went into the week. It was about a 6-point game. So people are piling in on the Eagles. And I think rightfully so. It's a tight divisional game here. The Cowboys haven't shown you anything to take them as 4.5-point favourites. So Eagles all round for us there. Now, who would pick this one? It's Las Vegas going to Pittsburgh. Oh, goodness. Let me just check what Mike's picked here. So Mike's got the Steelers. I'll have to take that as well. The Dome team going to play in frigid conditions here in the Midwest. That's just a nightmare situation there. So, we say it every week, we like the Steelers in these close games. They tend to prevail more times than not on the spreads. So we'll just keep picking them. Green Bay at Miami. A 3.5-point favourite game for the Dolphins here. Mike likes the Dolphins. I have to say I like Green Bay here to cover 3.5. My trust in the Dolphins is waning slightly in terms of winning games by a lot. And the 3.5 points covers the field goal. The Packers coming off a very good win the other night. So I'll just take the Packers here in the hope they've got a bit of form picking up late in the year. Still a chance to make the playoffs, all to play for there. Denver at the Rams. Oh, God. What a turgid affair this is. I'm not sure Mike's even picked this. Oh, he has. He's taken the Rams. Oh my god. I think I'll be taking the. Go on then. I'll just take the Rams as well. Let's get that one out of the way. Tampa Bay at Arizona. Ugh, it's another mess that is. The Bucks minus 7.5. Oh, and Mike likes it. As bad as the Cardinals are, I can't take a road team of the caliber of the Buccaneers to win a game on the road by more than 7 points, which is what you're saying. So it's going to be a Cardinals cover for me there. So a few differs down the line here. And another turgid affair. This has just ended very badly here. Very unfortunate for this monologue of mine to end like this. But this is the Los Angeles Chargers going to the Indianapolis Colts. And the Chargers put us 4-point favourites here. Mike likes the Chargers. I can see why. I don't know. I think again, they're going on the road. The Colts might not have much. They might be deflated after that game. This is a coin toss for me. I'm going to take the Colts to cover. I think they do somehow bounce back, and everything's kind of all right there. I do like to pick against the Chargers, so I might as well just stick to my guns when it comes to that. So that concludes the Week 16 spread. It's been a rapid-fire one without Mike here. We'll welcome him back in next week, and go over all these spreads, see what we got right, and see if we maintain our over 50% on the year as we come down the stretch here. To all, a Merry Christmas, and see you next week. Go well.